Alright, welcome, and today we will actually start to go into some replays of the Sacred Beast Pure deck. I will go into these letter 6 duels here. It's a while ago, it is the 8th of February, so that's exactly a week ago from now. And some on the 7th. Yeah, but I don't remember them completely fresh, but I do know that there's a good variety of wins, like you see some wins and also even a loss in it, and also like in kind of cards that we drew, because I see a lot of replays of people, or basically duels where they just show the duels where they had a good hand, and I mean every deck will win if they get a good hand, right? So that is good to know. And secondly, no, before we actually get into that, it's actually really important to, of course, tell you that we are playing with the pure Sacred Beast deck. We only play with pure Yu-Gi-Oh decks. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I don't like staples. It's just makes the game really boring, and as well as most extra deck monsters just are incredibly splashable, so they are pretty much staples as well. If you know Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit, then you know about all them. IP Masquerena, Nightmare monsters, Zoos, even if you run any XYZ monsters, it's just so standard and so straightforward. It's every player plays the same cards. It's really no fun to me, and the same thing goes also for the main deck, where every player just plays Ash Blossom, Maxi, and all the standard cards. It's unfortunately for me no fun, but that doesn't have to ruin the fun of the game. So yeah, this is the deck that we are running, and yeah, I hope that it's clear. Maybe let me click on every card. I guess that's the main thing of pure Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't include any cards that don't really fit either your archetype or your play style, playing method. You can imagine if you focus on, for example, face down monsters, then you can put in cards like Book of Moon, but there's also an extra deck monster that focuses on face down monsters, and a good example is Subterror, of course. That's an archetype which focuses on that. This is flip monsters. I'm sorry, that was not face down monsters, it was flip monsters, and that's also a really cool thing in my opinion. So this extra deck monster really rocks, as in it really fits into a certain deck, and not is really not splashable in any other deck, or not every deck at least. Okay, with that being said, I hope that's clear, and let's get into some replays. Yeah, I guess we'll start here, and we'll start to go, well, end on the loss, which is interesting to say the least, but yeah, you'll see what it's about. I'll try to pause sometimes, and sometimes speed up the gameplay and see what we actually got, because again, I don't remember everything that happened here. But let's see. So we drew a pretty good hand. You want to have these are the main starters, and you also have pure Rice Map now also as main starter, and we even drew this, so our opponent actually skipped. He used Ash Blossom again, very expectable, very predictable, I mean. But fortunately, this not the end of the world, because we still have Dark Beckoning Beast, which searches every card in our deck that we would like. Added Cerulean Skyfire to the hand, because now we can go into the basically straightforward combo of Sacred Beasts. Again, it's the pure version, so you don't use El Mirage. Even our extra deck is completely empty, as you saw in the deck list just now. You don't use El Mirage or Linkuriboh, anything, no shenanigans like that. So yeah, as you know, this is actually one of the battles where we put 2 Hamons on the board, because we already have Skill Drain in the hand, and Skill Drain is amazing in this deck, because the small monsters, both monsters that are banished here, actually tribute themselves for their effect, so they can actually dodge. Wait, let's pause for a second. Yeah, they can actually dodge this negation of effect, basically negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the field. And yeah, if they tribute themselves, their effect actually activates in the graveyard, so they dodge this the Skill Drain. Also, what happened here, as you have seen hopefully, there are actually 2 Cerulean Skyfires and 2 Hamons on the field, and that is because this effect is once per turn. While you control an attack position, Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, you can negate any spell trap effect activated by your opponent. Then change 1 Hamon to you control to defense position, and you can see that it states here once per turn. So it's basically a once per turn effect, but it's a soft once per turn. So as long as you control 2 of these cards, and in that sense you for the cost or something, like it's the change 1 Hamon to defense position, you also have to have 2 attack position Hamons, either that or just basically have him in attack, then negate the effect, and then change him to attack again. And then you can use the second Cerulean Skyfire as well, because you have again an attack position Hamon. So either that or just have 2 Hamons on the field. And again, I explained why we didn't go for a Raviel, because we have Skill Drain in the hand, and that's better than like if we had in the hand the other Awakening of the Sacred Beast, then we would like to have 2 different Sacred Beasts, but in this case it's better to actually have 2 Hamons, because we now can negate 2 spell or trap effects. Let's see, it's sped up. Our opponent, okay, yeah, so wait, hold up, our opponent actually used here Raigeki, but yeah, the Fallen Paradise protects our monsters from being destroyed by battle. He tries to destroy all the spell and trap cards, so we can actually negate it. And let's see. He has a CW deck. Oh yeah, I negated that as well, and I think, yeah, that was the end. Yeah, I remember. You can imagine that's really bad. Like, first of all, the Raigeki didn't work, then his Lightning Storm. It's also a completely random card, like a completely super strong staple, the Lightning Storm. But yeah, that unfortunately got negated for him. Alright, let's go into the second one. So he had, I think, no further place. I think the other card, I'm not familiar with the CW deck a lot, but that was likely a search. So alright, let's see what we draw this time. Okay, so this is a good thing, because this is actually a pretty bad hand that we drew with, and we are actually starting this turn. Okay, so I'm actually, okay, so we did draw some decent cards, but still no Sacred Beast. So as you can imagine, this is a really bad start. Like, we have Foolish Burial Goods face down. We have 2 of the Awakening Sacred Beasts without a Sacred Beast on the field. The good thing, I guess, is we do have Skill Drain though, so you might see how good Skill Drain still works here. So his Shiranui monster didn't have an effect on the field anymore, because it has an effect when it's on normal summon, basically. And then we drew Fallen Paradise. That's also a really bad card to draw, because you can always navigate it, almost always navigate it with Chaos Summoning Beast. You don't want to draw it. This card also has a normal summon effect, yeah, and that unfortunately doesn't work for him. So he is putting monsters on the field, but he's not attacking. I don't know, maybe he's afraid of the monster that we have face down. We drew Pure Rise Map, which is one of the starters. And yeah, what we can do then is Dark Summoning Beast, banish this, add Fallen Paradise to the hand, use this effect. Then we cannot attack anymore this turn, but that doesn't matter, I guess, because the opponent is not set up really well either. Fallen Paradise, we can now banish, add a card to the hand before we draw 2 cards, because we don't want to draw Hamon with Fallen Paradise effect. Alright, and our big boys, Raviel and Hamon on the field are, they do have effects, but it doesn't really matter. Like, Skill Drain negates their effects, like this one. You can now normally summon a card, basically. Summon a token. Opponent normal summons, special summon 1 Phantasm token. But that's of course not happening, it's negated by Skill Drain. But also his effects are negated by Skill Drain. So he's trying to activate both of Unizombies effect. Unfortunately, man, that's not gonna work. Okay, link into, or yeah, that's link into something else. Okay, that's amazing. That's gonna give us life points, because we have Awakening of the Sacred Beast, so gain back some of this. I should have activated this sooner, just to gain more life points. That was a small misplay, but yeah, it won't bite us in the back, I think. Alright, so we are a little bit unlucky, because we still didn't draw we didn't get to the hand, hold up, Opening of the Spirit Gates. Let's pause, please, pause. Okay, yeah, we don't have Opening of Spirit Gates, because then we would be able to make use of Foolish Burial Goods and send to the graveyard whatever we like. Things like Dimensional Fissure, the other card is Legacy of the Duelists, that's also a good card, and perhaps like if we had other cards like Deck Lockdown or something, and Summoning Curse, that might also work. But alright, let's see what our opponent still has, because this is actually gonna work pretty well. Oh yeah, I used this during the battle phase. Basically, I don't know, it was probably a misclick. I just forgot like what the effect was, and it was like, what? We can activate this card during the battle phase, but it's this. Once per turn, if you control a level 10 monster, you can add 1 continuous trap from your graveyard to your hand, and Skill Drain was in the graveyard. And also basically it's a trap card, so it's spell speed 2 effect. You can use it almost pretty much every time. Just don't chain it to spell speed 3 effects. But yeah, so we get more life points. Alright, a lot of effects activate. This is gonna summon a token, but it's gonna get negated. This is gonna, well, whatever effect that is, and it's gonna get negated as well. So Book of Life, he's gonna banish a monster from our graveyard. Alright, we get 3000 more life points. Our opponent is trying. I want to give him a default. Yeah, okay. He found out that it's unfortunately not working. You can see how strong Skill Drain can be. Not saying that Shiranui is the most competitive deck out of all the decks that are out there, but still. Right. So those were pretty good wins, even with a bad hand. And our opponent wasn't like in the Shiranui deck. It's really not bad in in like a in the meta play or something, like in gold, I guess. He was in gold league. It would definitely do pretty well, and it's a pretty fun deck as well. We played with it in the solo mode. So, all right, so we had a decent hand. We could add Dark Reckoning Beast to the hand, normal summon it, get a search. Basically, if you have 2 of the starters in your hand, the good combination of starters, then you can just go into the regular combo, which will be seen here. We can just end with 2 Sacred Beasts on the field and also Fallen Paradise, and hopefully one of the... by the way, opening of Spirit Gates will also always be on the field in that case. And hopefully we can draw with Fallen Paradise effect some of these... like Cerulean Skyfire or Awakening of the Sacred Beast, or even Skill Drain in this deck now. Yeah, Awakening. Oh, we drew both. That's amazing. That's honestly a really good draw. Because now we have a negate for a spell trap effect. Okay, are we gonna negate this? No, we didn't negate this. Because we generally like to save our negate for the common cards, which are Lightning Storm, which are Harpie's Feather Duster. Like they're common cards, as in staples again, which I talked about at the start of the video, which I'm not a fan of, but it's like you should expect them, because it's just predictable that those cards will come. So that's why we saved the negate of a spell trap card, and we actually have now the Awakening of Sacred Beast. We flipped it face up, so his monsters don't have activated effects anymore. Do be aware though, like they still have passive effects, which are like negate the activated effects of your monsters your opponent controls. So they still do have passive effects, which could be like this card cannot be destroyed by battle. That is not negated. That is negated by Skill Drain, but not by Awakening of Sacred Beast. So that's something to note. Alright, he summoned some monsters, actually quite some, so we'll be getting some life points. And again 2000, so thank you sir, Sir Joker. And even 2000 more, wow. Thank you, and he's gonna summon even more from the extra deck. Okay, I think I remember this was... We only have one Awakening of the Spirit Gate, yeah, Awakening of the Sacred Beast. And you can imagine, like, if any of these cards, these 2 cards would also be an Awakening of the Sacred Beast, yes. Then we would have gotten twice the amount of life points here. But yeah, we already got like 17,000 here. So unfortunately we had I guess we could call it a gap or something, of 3,000 life points here. But he did 3,000 life points and he summons a monster of 3,200, so now we have actually added 3,200 life points again. He tried to activate the effect of multiple XYZ monsters by detaching 1 material as its costs, but yeah, unfortunately that didn't work for him. So we draw 2 cards. We're definitely in a great position here. He doesn't have any spell traps which help him, and his monster effects are negated currently. So we get this on the field, that's amazing. We add a card back, the continuous spell back. We banish this at the Fallen Paradise. We can also place this down, and now we're in the same position as in the first video of this. I think it's the first video of this, or second video. One of the previous videos where we have 2 Hammons. But we actually tribute 1. Because yeah, there's actually an achievement where we have to do a lot of damage, like over 8,000 damage. If we do that, then basically we get working towards achievement, and that's why we did this, just to get more than 8,000 damage. Alright, so that was 12,800 damage, and we actually insta-killed him with that attack. That was against Joker, yes. So we have 2 more duels left, let's see. So yeah, we have had a decent variety of duels. Of course we show the strength if you draw a decent hand. We've drawn a good hand so far, and we also drew a bad hand. So I guess like you actually see a realistic view of what Sacred Beasts are like. Like this also, this is pause please. Yeah, this is a really mediocre hand. Like it's not good, but it's not bad either. Like if you have a bad hand, you draw like all the Sacred Beasts or Fallen Paradise, which you don't want to draw ever. But a good hand would be to have a starter, an actually starter, which is either Dark Beckoning Beast, Pure Rise Map, or Opening of Spirit Gates. Those 3, one of those 3 would work. Then you have like 2 semi-starters, I guess you could call them, which is Case Summoning Beast and Dark Summoning Beast, because they don't do much by themselves. But yeah, so either of those 2, you don't want to draw a combination of those 2, or just only one of those 2. But in this case, we actually only drew like 1 Chaos Summoning Beast. It's not the end of the world, because we fortunately have Hammon in the hand. But again, it's a really mediocre hand, and we could very well lose here. We also have Cerulean Skyfire, so that's I guess a pretty good plus as well, because it works with Hammon. Then we can banish it, add Fallen Paradise, activate it, draw 2 cards. Oh, our opponent, ooh, that's really nice. Our opponent actually had draw and Lockboard, so now we cannot draw cards anymore. We're also activating Dimensional Fissure, so let's see what our opponent has for us. Doug. Mr. Doug. That was a really good draw and Lockboard. That's also a common hand trap also, by the way. Like I would enjoy or like the card if it actually had to do something with his own archetype or like the way he was playing, but unfortunately that's not the case for here. But definitely stopped us in his way in our tracks, because otherwise we could have drawn 2 more cards and probably we could have done some more interesting things. But alright, so we negated his field spell. And he gave up. Alright, poor dog. Poor dog. He played Attic Nisters, so. Alright, let's go into the 5th battle. The 5th replay. And let's see what kind of hand we drew here. We had I guess a good hand. Okay, I will show you as well. This is also a pretty decent hand, and why is that the case? Because as I just explained, you want to have one of the 3 cards that I said, Dark Beckoning Beast, Opening of the Spirit Gates, or Pure Rise Map, because Pure Rise Map, it's one of the most recent additions, because this is one of the newest card I think in the entire deck. And yeah, it actually adds a monster to the hand, which can completely help you with bricking, because if we didn't have this card in the hand right now, then we would have bricked, because Dark Summoning Beast, we can't do anything with it by itself. But Pure Rise Map helps us out. There's only 2 drawbacks though. First of all, it halves your life points, and yeah, that can definitely be a problem sometimes, because also Skill Drain requires you to pay 1000 life points to activate it, so it can be a problem sometimes, having your life points. And also you have to normal summon the monster. That's usually not a big problem, because we can usually normal summon the monster, but it does make it so that you have to be aware which monster you add, because you can add 1 monster with 0 attack, and that's any of these monsters. So for example, if we had Dark Beckoning Beast in the hand and we add Dark Summoning Beast to the hand with Pure Rise Map, we have to make sure to normal summon it and not special summon it with Opening of the Spirit Gates, because then we cannot use its effect anymore. Alright, so let's go. We do have a decent hand. Yeah, it's okay. This Cerulean Skyfire, to have that in the hand, it's really good. But yeah, as you can see, now we ended up with, after having used Pure Rise Map, we had Dark Beckoning Beast and Dark Summoning Beast in hand, and that's one of the golden combos basically. That's the thing that you want to see. Alright, so now let's speed it up a little, then we will go into the standard combo. We'll just add this to the hand, normal summon, tribute it for one of the Sacred Beasts, perfect. Then, yeah, okay, special summon first Chaos Summoning Beast, banish it from the graveyard, add to the hand, tribute this, special summon Raviel to the field, banish it, Fallen Paradise. By the way, I did choose for 2 different Sacred Beasts here. Why? Because we still have the draw for Fallen Paradise left, and we always do that. We first make our plays, because this way we actually add cards to the hand. So basically we banished Dark Beckoning Beast, added a Raviel to the hand, special summoned it. So basically you want to have that done first, like do your plays first and then activate the draw effect of Fallen Paradise. Because otherwise perhaps you will draw Raviel, which are out of your 2 cards, your Pot of Greed effect of Fallen Paradise, and that's not something you want, because you can always navigate it with, you can easily, at least not always, but easily navigate it with these cards. So alright, let's go. Play. Alright, so then we use the draw effect. We have Cerulean Skyfire, so that's pretty good. Foolish Bearer Goods won't help us right now, so I guess, yeah, that's the end. Okay, during the end phase he actually used Gizmek Orochi. So he's likely playing a deck that plays focus on Banished. Yeah, so he does that Golden Castle. So it's likely the Grand Magi deck. Alright, and then you can special summon 1 monster from your deck. So we negated that, yep, alright, because that's a pretty good effect. If he did have like a Harpie's Feather Duster or something right now, we might be in a bad position, but... Alright, Danger Bigfoot. Plays danger cards. It's pretty good because you play Trade-in this deck, I believe, if you play it correctly. Alright, another Cerulean Skyfire. We have to activate this first, and as you can see it will have our life points again. Yeah, so we will be at 2000 life points, which is really dangerous. If we leave this monster in attack face up, you can imagine that we would easily die. Alright, we have another Cerulean Skyfire. Yeah, we just make our regular plays again, because we had like we could have the same combo in the hand as the previous turn, which we usually have, because you can draw 2 more cards here, so it's very easy to actually get that on the field. So that's another Raviel. We tribute it, and for the same reason we want to do more than 8000 attack. Okay, so he has an attack where has an effect here. Wait, let's read it. You can only use spec once per turn. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy the attacking monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half that. So that would destroy us, but fortunately it prevents, Fallen Paradise prevents our big guys from being destroyed by battle. So that's pretty good. Alright, so we get 16,000 attack, we attack, that's 13,000 damage, and that's obviously an insta-kill, so perfect. And we got one more, what is it, step towards the achievement, I guess. So, alright, and let's go into the last battle. I remember this one. This is actually, I like to keep it realistic, so I actually hope I showed you some variety of battles, and this one will definitely add to that, because we actually draw a good hand here. It could be better eventually, like we, wait, let's show this first. So basically we have these two in the hand. Of course, if you only have these two, the combination of these two, it's really bad. But if you have either of these two combined with one of the 3 starters, which I already talked about before, it turns into an amazing hand. So Pure Race Map is one of the starters, so that's perfect. We also have, like, you can, like I just said, you only need one of this eventually, because you already have Pure Race Map in combination with either of these. Then Allure of Darkness is amazing, so this is actually a pretty good hand. You can argue that this card, or like this Shimmering Scraper, could be another card, but yeah, it's definitely good. Eventually it will also depend on what we draw from our Fallen Paradise, and from Allure of Darkness, of course. So, but yeah, overall it was definitely not a bad hand to start with. So let's see what we can do. We can actually set up the board as usual. So you've seen this now up until now quite a few times. Just set up the board, get 2 Sacred Beasts on the field, we get Fallen Paradise, we keep opening up Spirit Gates, and hopefully with Fallen Paradise we draw some monster effect negates, so like Awakening, Awakening of the Sacred Beast, or Skill Drain, or Cerulean Skyfire. And okay, so he starts with Chicken Game, and I remember this is actually a Pendulum deck. So unfortunately, as you saw from Fallen Paradise, we didn't draw any of the cards that I was talking about, like the negates or something, or some interruptions on the opponent's turn. We didn't draw those, unfortunately. So we have a decent hand for the next turn, but yeah, let's see how it goes. So he actually, I still don't like, I've never made a Pendulum deck like this myself, so I'm not sure exactly how it works. But as you can see, I'll skip through it a lot. Like, I'll play that. I would play it at faster speed if I could, but like, he's activating a lot of cards here, a lot of spell cards, placing spell counters, removing spell counters from the field to activate more effects. This card's also a really cheap card. I have no idea why it's not banned in this format, but yeah, that's the way it is. This is just an Upstart Goblin, basically, and if you play Upstart Goblin 3 times, it's also allowed 3 times, by the way. I just want to interrupt a little bit for that. And also Chicken Game 3 times, then you basically have a 34 card deck, so yeah, it's really weird why they allow that, but alright, so be it. Yeah, so he keeps on activating spell cards and more, and he actually, like, he deduced our board very well. Like, I want to say that even though we don't have negates or anything, we still have Fallen Paradise, which makes our big boys untargetable, and they're still 4,000 attack, so it's not always easy to get rid of them. Even if we wouldn't have Fallen Paradise on the field, like, there's still 2 of them, so if you can destroy a card on the field, sure. But you still have to destroy both of them, right? So, but alright, let's see what he does. He actually manages to completely deduce our board and exactly know which plays to make, or perhaps he got really lucky with the plays that he could make, depending on what we had on the field. But yeah, here he was just destroying cards on the field. These cards don't die, so I'm not sure what he was doing. He could have destroyed this card as well, and he destroyed his own. He probably had to destroy more cards. So, alright, Millennium, that's Instant Fusion, right? Yeah, so that's also unfortunately a cheap card, but so be it. Spellcasters, okay. Alright, yeah, and I guess he has a pretty good Pendulum deck in general, but he also uses the staples, as you just saw as well. Okay, banish 1 card on field, and this the last staple that he uses. This is also a really random card, goes in every deck. So yeah, Access Code Talker, and that's the end for us. So that was a very interesting play by him. So honestly, I can't pronounce his name, unfortunately, but well done. So yeah, those were actually the battles that we have done so far, and I quickly wanted to show you the missions. I think we still haven't completed it yet, that's why. Unlimited missions, yeah, so deal over 8,000 damage in a single attack. So we are at 17 out of 20 now, so I'll just try whenever we're in a winning position already, and I'm sure that we can tribute our own monster and actually do a lot of attack damage, basically, and 8,000 damage in a single attack, then I'll definitely go for it. Once we've reached 20, I will stop doing that. Like, there's no use for it. Alright, so yeah, that's the end of the playthroughs that I wanted to show you. I hope that I actually gave you a realistic view of the battles, of the Sacred Beast battles. Do be aware that they were all in Gold League, and also be very aware, that's the main thing, we are playing pure Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's already pretty prestigious to even reach Platinum with a pure Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. I would challenge any of you guys to try to do it, if you enjoy playing pure Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course. Because playing against all the staple OP, like overpowered cards, the overpowered extra deck cards, but also the overpowered main deck cards like Ash Blossom and all the hand traps and all the things, it's definitely a challenge. I unfortunately stopped enjoying that, so it's really not fun to just play against all the OP cards while you don't want to include those cards in your deck. It's you can imagine that's not a thing. So unfortunately, I kind of stopped playing duels. I did do some more other duels here, but yeah, I didn't do. I don't really play that many ranked duels nowadays anymore. But yeah, I really hope I gave you a realistic overview of what the Sacred Beast deck can actually do in the Gold League, and that's of course on the pure Yu-Gi-Oh! Or pure Yu-Gi-Oh! Pure Sacred Beast deck. So I'll end off the video with showing what it was, and this is our beautiful pure Sacred Beast deck. So okay, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in perhaps a next video. Peace.